It's April 1st, 2026, and it's time for another Kitsap County housing market update. And for the first time here in Kitsap County, our average sales price has reached over $3 million. April Fools, just kidding. Let's check out the real numbers.
Okay, let's jump in and look at some numbers. So March 2026, we've got all of our information in now that it's April 1st, and we can see that the average sale price was $661,000 in all of Kitsap County. And if you've been following along with us, you know that we've been kind of tracking a trend. We've been seeing that our lows are slowly increasing since that all-time 2022 summer high that we saw. And here's that high, June 2022, we saw $700,000, just over was the average sale price here in Kitsap County. And then things tapered all the way down to a low here in December, $513,000. And then we see January, February stays kind of low, and we've been seeing March, things tick up. So then 2024, $534,000, the low was a little bit higher, and then March we ticked up. 2025, $570,000 was the low, this is February. And then in March, we ticked up. Now we see 2026, $587,000 was the low, and then in March, we ticked up. So in following these trends, it's telling me that it's very likely that in the summer of 2026, we will likely see highs similar to those that we saw in 2022, our all-time high, maybe even a little bit beyond that. Now, of course, we know we got some big national news going on right now, and that can certainly have an effect on interest rates and overall inflation. So that's definitely something that we're watching, and we'll keep an eye to see how it affects things here in Kitsap County. Let's jump over here into our new listings. So the total amount of new listings that came on each month, and we can see this chart is staying pretty steady. Our lows are somewhere between 200 and 300, and then the highs are generally up in the 600 to 700 range, and nothing really too significant there. Everything seems to be staying relatively consistent over these last 5 years. This is looking at the total amount of homes for sale in Kitsap County, and we can see here March 2026, 702, and that's pretty on par with what we've been seeing around this time over the last few years. And if we jump over and look at the total amount of closed sales, in March we saw 295. So if we do a little bit of math there, that will give us our months of supply. And looking at the months of supply, we can see that we're sitting just over 2. And for reference, somewhere between 4 and 6 months is considered a balanced market, and that's why you may hear that we have low inventory. That's what they're talking about when they say that. This is the total amount of showings per listing. This might be interesting if you have a home on the market right now and you're just curious. So for March, average of 5 showings per listing. And that's pretty on par with what we've seen around this time over the last few years, as you can see. And then looking at the total amount of showings to pending, look at the average here, in March, around 12. So that means on average, it took about 12 showings before a listing would receive an offer. And then here we're looking at the average days on market here in Kitsap County, around 53 days. This is the average. And this again is pretty on par with what we've been seeing around this time of year over the last few years. And so these are relatively steady and predictable charts. So my bold prediction again for this spring, summertime of 2026, we will see all-time highs similar to what we saw in 2022. But of course, we've got some big things going on in the world right now, so we're gonna have to wait and see how everything shakes out to see how that will affect interest rates and inflation and oil and everything else. So if I'm wrong, I've got something to blame it on.
And that concludes this edition of the Kitsap County Housing Market Update. If you're interested in buying or selling a home here in the Kitsap or surrounding areas, my name is Nolanreynolds. I'm a real estate agent with Windermere Real Estate in Silverdale, Washington, and I would love to help you accomplish your real estate goals. Feel free to reach out to me anytime or click the link below for more information.